All right, we did it. We did it. Georgia Southern finished the season 7-6. We finally get a bowl win. 4 years in the making. We finally get it. Coach Clay Helton finally gets a bowl win against Appalachian State. This is icing on the cake. I know there's a lot of people out here may look at this a little bit side eye because of the way things went this entire season, but I'm here to tell you right now, this season has been, for the most part, a success. Georgia Southern Eagles are the 2025 JLAB Birmingham Bowl champions, winning 29-10. And I'm going to tell you that this was a master class of a defensive effort by Georgia Southern. Excellent all the way around. One of the best defensive games I've seen Georgia Southern play in probably a couple of years. I know there were some things that look a little bit wonky, but for the most part, the defense played a phenomenal game. And with that being said, it's a little bittersweet watching Darius Safford get his debut as a defensive coordinator and put up the type of performance that he did as a coordinator. But, you know, you were getting Coach Moots coming in. I don't know what the future holds for Safford, but I think he's going to raise some eyebrows throughout the entire area of the Sun Belt and probably other programs as well, because I think with this one game, there's something there for him. But it was just a phenomenal game. It was great to see. I am so glad that Georgia Southern finished this season the way it did. There was no other way. Georgia Southern had to win this bowl game. Coach Clay Helton had to win this bowl game. It was so much going on with this program the last 3 or 4 years. Coach Clay Helton comes in, you know, you go 6-6 or 6-7, lose the bowl game, turns it back around again. I think you went 6-7 again, lose a bowl game. The following season, you win 8 games and you lose another bowl game. You're sitting here looking like, all right, when is this going to happen? When is this going to happen? So Georgia Southern, you got to understand, Georgia Southern was 3-5 at one time. We didn't think that it was going to go to a bowl game. This wasn't supposed to happen. They were 2-4, 3-5 at one time, to the point where it was like, okay, this season's done. Coach Clay Helton has to get fired. Everybody has to go, clean house, and you couldn't blame them. That's just the way it was, because you have a team that basically regressed from last year. A team that was basically 8-5 last year, although you lost your bowl game to Sam Houston last year, you still won 8 games. And you go back, and then at one point of this season, you were 3-5. It was warranted. Everybody had their own opinions about this game or this season, and it was justified. You know, there were people out here, they were looking up salaries, they were looking up buyouts, all this stuff, and you couldn't blame them. I mean, you look at the situation, like I said, 3-5, and you end up finishing the season 4-1. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but I look at it like this. This was a great coaching job by Coach Clay Helton at the end of the day. It was a good coaching job. I mean, he did exactly what he set out to do. Were there shortcomings this season? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we should have won the game in Fresno. I believe that. We should have beat Arkansas State. I absolutely believe that as well. The Southern Miss game, that's another one that got away from us. I give you that. But through all of that, Coach Clay Helton was able to keep this team together and see through it for these guys to become bowl champions. And I mean, if we're going to look at the way that this team played poorly and give them the criticism, we got to flip it around and have that same energy when they basically flipped it around, going 4-1 in the last 5 games, and they're holding up a second trophy this season. Yes, a second one, even though we kept the other trophy that we got from Georgia State. You got to give them the praise, you know. And I'm not one of these people that are like raw for Coach Clay Helton, but I got to call it like I see it. You know, he did what he had to do. Now, As I always do in the post games, I love to look at these stats, and we're definitely going to look at that. Let me pull this up so you guys can see this. I'm going to share the screen yet again because I want to give some guys some props because some of these players were phenomenal today, absolutely phenomenal. So we look at this 29-10. They didn't update the record. Let's see if they'll update the record. Let's refresh it. There we go, 7-6. They update the record, and we're 7-6. We end up winning a bowl game, and yeah, this is just the way it went. I mean, you can't ask for anything better than that. Shout out to Wade Page, 47-43. Great game, held Southern. I absolutely agree. This was a master class on defense. An excellent game by the defense. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. They gave up pretty much nothing throughout this game. The 10 points, I guess you could say they gave up the 7, but when you really look at the totality of it, this game could have been a situation where these guys, let me stop this right here. These guys could have gave up almost 20-something points. Missed field goal here, couple of interceptions in the red zone there. You know, some absolute stifling defense throughout the game. They did what they were supposed to do. You look at, let's see if I can pull up the stats completely. There we go, box score. This is what I like to see, the box score. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let's blow this up a little bit more. That's beautiful. JC French, 18-25, 171, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Dalen Cobb, I'm going to talk about the interception in a second. But when you look at this game, I'm not sure if this was the game plan, but it just looked like that the game plan was not to be as aggressive throwing the ball. They didn't, I don't know if Camden Brown was like completely covered and App State was like, look, you're not going to beat us with Camden Brown, but they didn't target him as much as I thought they would. But hey, another receiver got off and he did very well. When you look at OJ Arnold, what a game by him. 11 rushes for 152. JC French, what a warrior he's been. Found a way to get first downs at the right time. 12 rushes for 38. Terrence Gibbs actually had a rushing touchdown. I don't know if this is going to be the last time we see Terrence Gibbs, because I think him and OJ Arnold probably came in at the same time. I can't remember. But Terrence Gibbs, I think he could have had more touches. I think they could have got him in a groove. And just like OJ Arnold, you probably would have had a situation where both of these guys could have ran for 100 yards if they really wanted to do that. I mean, it was just one of those days where it could have been, but, you know, they kind of limited him a little bit. Weston Bryant had a rushing touchdown as well. And it was pretty good overall, 242 yards on the ground. Marcus Sanders, this is the guy right here that actually made the difference in the receiving game. Camden Brown was, I want to say that he was completely covered throughout this game. They made it their business not to go and let him beat. They didn't want him to beat them. So Marcus Sanders, another guy that, you know, I've been watching him since he was a freshman, and I knew he was going to be something special at some point. And 5 catches for 172. What a season he had. Some great catches. That back in the end zone touchdown was absolutely phenomenal, getting a foot in, and that was great. Dalen Cobb, I'm going to talk about Dalen Cobb really quick. Listen, the thing about Dalen Cobb is I like him as a player. I do like some of the packages they put in for him. The only thing I don't like about his package setup is that sometimes his plays a little bit too predictable, and sometimes he gets hung out to dry a lot. It's how he got hurt in the Old Dominion game. But when he does get a chance, he can be electric. 5 for 35. And another thing about him is that I did not like the double pass or when he tried to throw the ball and end up being intercepted. That they could have done without that. At that point, you was up 16. If anything, I would have been better off if you just throw another screen pass to him. Because that could have been costly if they was able to capitalize on that. Then you're talking about an 8-point game or a 9-point game, depending on if they would have went for 2 or not. And the heat could have been turned up a little bit for Georgia Southern, but nevertheless, nothing happened because of the defense did a fantastic job, and I'm here for it. Terrence Gibbs had a really good catch for a first down. That was just a clutch play Dylan Gary had that one catch for 13 yards was another clutch play for a first down, I think. But I know Terrence Gibbs was a clutch play. When we look at the turnovers, it just shows, right? I'm going to get to the defense. We had a total of 4 interceptions. Devin Collier had the had the interception to close the game out. Phenomenal play by him. But what can you say about Dorian Smith? I mean, this kid right here, barely hear his name, but has the game of his life. 2 interceptions, phenomenal times in the game where he had the interception, a good time in the game to get the interceptions, basically shut the door on whatever App State tried to do at every single turn. Even Tracy Hill had his interception in the red zone. I mean, you just couldn't ask for a better defensive performance by Georgia Southern. I mean, every time you turned around, these guys were able to get a stop. And this is nothing. Looking at the stat line, they didn't get any sacks in this game. Because one thing I will give credit to this kid right here. Matthew Wilson came in, never played quarterback. I think he didn't play quarterback in college. Came in 12 of 22, 128, 2 interceptions. Rightfully so if you never played in college at the quarterback position. But he was able to keep plays alive. 12 carries for 110. He was the leading rusher and leading passer. Shout out to that kid. I don't know y'all, but this kid may be a guy that we see down later on in the future if they decide to make this kid QB1. And I'm already dreading to see this kid again. I don't want no parts of this guy. If that was his outing, first time playing quarterback in college, and he did this with a little bit more reps, and if they decide to make a game plan around him, this could be a really serious problem for Georgia Southern. So keep that name on deck for Georgia Southern defense and bulletin board material. Dalton Stroman had 3 catches for 96. They were really quiet, 96 yards. I mean, didn't do anything with them. A couple of good catches, but they couldn't do anything. Kari Lewis, 5 for 35. Kamari Alexander, 2 for 17. David Larkins, the tight end, had 3 for 14, but his longest catch was 7 yards. So he didn't do anything either, you know. Let's see. Lacovi Roberts, he says, hell, Southern, what a great game, beating your rival twice. Clean sweep. Continue to beat App State. Absolutely. This is, I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better. Beating your rival twice and beating them for a title. Or I didn't say for a title, but for a bowl game victory. I mean, this is what it's all about, y'all. This is what it's all about. It was absolutely awesome. I did like, let me see who I did. I did like a couple of tackle for losses. MJ Stroud had a few of them. Dorian Smith, once again, he had a tackle for loss. He had 2 interceptions. Probably could have been the player of the game when you look at everything that he was able to do. When you also look at Caleb Moore, Brandon Tyson, a couple of guys also had tackles for loss. Justin Myers, yet again, the leading tackler. It was just a really good game all in all for the defense. I mean, these guys, they played a phenomenal game. This was a phenomenal game by Georgia Southern defense. Can I say anything about the offense that I didn't like? Like I said, I did not like the pass that Dalen Cobb threw. I think that was unwarranted. I didn't think you needed that play. But at the end of the day, you were able to overcome that and still get the victory. You look at the box score up here. I mean, look, guys. I mean, this 7-yard touchdown. I mean, this 7 points right here in the second quarter. I wasn't even fazed by it. And when I realized that second half, which I'm going to talk about in a second, that second half, when Georgia Southern came straight out the gate and went straight down the field and scored, not once but twice, honestly, I knew the game was over then. I felt the game was over when that happened. When I saw those guys go right down the field and score twice, I knew it was over. See if I could pull up anything. I want to see where's not the play-by-play games cast, play-by-play. I guess I could do play-by-play. Scoring plays. Here we go. That's what I want to see right here. So, like I said, Terrence Gibbs get the touchdown to start off. I can't show it because of copyright. You know, they tried to flag me last time when I showed highlights, and that was kind of crazy, but it is what it is. So Terrence Gibbs get the 1-yard run, then turn right around. Brian get the field goal, so it's 10-0. Even right here, when they got this touchdown right here, and I saw this 6-yard touchdown by Wilson, I wasn't fazed at all. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I wasn't fazed. I was like, okay, it is what it is. They got a touchdown, but I just never felt any threat to say that Georgia Southern was going to lose this game. I really didn't. Shout out to Lurch Logan, USC fan. Been following us ever since Coach Clay Helton came to Georgia Southern. Thank you, Lurch. This was well needed. We needed this. We needed this bowl game. We needed it. After everything that we've been through, we needed this one. Absolutely. So we get the field goal going into the half 13-7. And this is where everything just turned up a notch. This entire drive right here. I want to see if I can pull this up. It's the play-by-play. All plays. This right here. The one that went up 19-7. Got the ball, 39 yards, turn right back around, shotgun. OJ Arnold runs for 58 yards to the 16. Then you go another screen pass to Dalen Cobb. That went up for 13 yards to the 3. And then what Bryant goes in for 3. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better response or a better out the gate second half drive. I mean, that right there set the tone. Then you turn right back around. We get the interception. Where is it? The interception right here by Dorian Smith, one of the second interception for Dorian Smith. And then we go right down the field, 5 plays, 65 yards. Sprints get 2-yard gain. Another pass complete for 20 yards. Dalen Cobb will rush for 6 yards. And then another pass to OJ Arnold. And then this is a touchdown pass right here to Marcus Sanders. We get that 1 foot in the back of the end zone. And then at that point, it was 19-7. I did not think nothing of it at that point. I say, all right, 19-7. I don't see App State trying to come back and win this game. But we end up getting another, what is it? 19, it says field goal. Oh, yeah, they got the field goal. Yeah, they got the field goal. And was it 19-7 then? No, it was 26-7. Sorry. 26-7. And that's when I knew the game was over. This is where I kind of thought that this was going to go kind of haywire, but it was ill-advised, but I didn't feel no threat. This play right here, the interception, Dalen Cobb had no reason to throw this ball. I mean, this right here, you got 2 minutes left in the third quarter. You're up 26-10. If I have any criticism of this game, that's where it is right there. I mean, there's no reason to throw that. But then again, it is what it is. We get we stop them on a punt. We get a field goal. Then we get the interception and we down the ball. The game is over. So that's basically how the game played out. So when you look at this season, which I will probably do this on another live stream, another video, going to do a whole season recap. I mean, look at this season, man. I mean, it just wasn't meant to be for certain things. You know, I wish we could have won that game at Fresno. That 42-14 victory by Fresno, I'm not going to say it's fraudulent, but we couldn't stop the run. And then you look at this Southern Miss game, we could have won that. Arkansas State is another one. We wasn't going to beat Old Dominion. I get that. That and JMU and USC, I kind of felt that those are the games we were going to lose, but it is what it is. You know, but with that being said, man, we walk away with a victory, 29-10. We are bowl champions. You know, we win a bowl game. Which players played their last game at GSU? As far as graduation, Brendan Harrington. Let's look at the roster. It's a good time to look at the roster. Here's all the guys right here that's probably going to be playing their last game. Pretty much, for the most part. Wembley is gone. Kalen Williams gone. Marcus Sanders gone. River Helms, he was hurt, but he's gone. Amon Green, he was a transfer. He's gone. Ethan Durham gone. All these seniors, these guys are gone. Dalen Cobb, Chance Carroll, Camden Brown, OJ Arnold, Chandler Strong. Chandler Strong may come back. Badinga, I would love for Badinga to come back. So those are basically your seniors right there. That's going to be gone. We're losing Arnold, Cobb, Brown, Sanders, Wembley. Those are the ones that stand out to me. That's probably not going to be here next year. You don't want to lose a guy like Wembley. Wembley's a 4-year starter. He came in as a freshman and made himself a name for himself at guard. Marcus Sanders came here as a freshman. He didn't start all of his games, but this last season was clearly his best season. I mean, you can look at his stats from last year. I mean, from this year, 45 receptions, 725, 4 touchdowns. I mean, this was his best season. And you look at his stats from the previous years, you see him right here. He didn't play as much his sophomore year. He had a good bit of catches in his freshman year. But I mean, 725 from 158. I mean, that's what I mean right there. You know. So we already knew from the get-go that we was going to lose Dalen Cobb. He came in as a freshman as well. He kind of started to play from the beginning as well. He pretty much played most of his seasons, most of the games every season. 52 catches for 471. This was his stats throughout his career. His sophomore year, I mean, this was the year that he was fairly consistent. 601 was his lead. Last year, he had 599. And in 2025, same amount of catches, little bit less. And I think he had less catches because he had more screens than anything. But that's another one that we're losing. Trying to think anybody else that stands out. Terrence Gibbs, no, he's staying. He's a junior, so he'll probably be coming back. I would like to see him come back because this bowl game, he actually played pretty solid. Camden Brown, we already knew he was leaving. He was a transfer from Auburn. We knew he was a one and done. I mean, 63 catches for 1049, 14 touchdowns. He led the FBS in touchdowns. So I mean, you look at his stats. Even at Auburn, I mean, he didn't do anything at Auburn, which was surprising. And he basically turned it around and got over 1,000 yards. That's a lot to lose. Now, I will say this. I don't know if he has any more eligibility because it's only 4 seasons. I don't know because, he came after the COVID year. So he may be gone. Probably going to be playing on Sundays anyway. I mean, he's like one of those guys that probably could play on Sundays. Anybody else? Let me think. OJ Arnold, last but not least. He's been here all 4 years. He played pretty much every game all 4 years. You look at his stats, 133, 880 yards. I don't think this is complete. I think he actually ran for 1,000 yards this season because these stats don't reflect on what he did this game. So he ran over 1,000 yards. But every guy, I mean, look, 45 carries his freshman year, 75, 63, 133. He's basically played a lot of minutes, or he played had a lot of playing time throughout his career here. And yeah, so even he's done pretty well for himself. So those are the people that we're losing for the most part. Guys that may be coming back if they don't transfer out. You still got Josh Dallas. He may come back if I would like for him to come back. Dylan Gary's another one that may come back. I think J.C. French is going to return. I think so. We got a solid group of guys that could come back and play. I think this kid right here, I'm gonna be honest, man. At tight end, I don't know what it is about this guy. I think this kid's gonna be pretty good. I think if he stays, I think he gets a good bit of playing time. I don't know what it is about him. I like this kid a lot. Sophomore out of Niceville, Florida. I think they should try to give this kid more playing time. I think he's going to be pretty good at tight end. But at the end of the day, man, we get the victory. 7-6 on the season. 29-10, we beat Appalachian State. I can't be mad at what happened here. I can't be mad that a lot of people going to look at this season a certain way. What could have happened? This should have happened. That should have happened. And I get it. I'm not going to sit here and say that just be happy with how things played out. I'm not going to say that. But for the fact that you beat your rivals, you beat Georgia State, you beat Appalachian State twice, and you get a bowl win. I mean, I just can't be mad at anything else outside of that. I'm happy with it. I'm good with this. All things considered, I'm good with it because it could have been much, much worse. It could have been much, much worse. But with that being said, man, I don't have anything else, man. Anybody else got anything else they want to say? We covered everything. This was a phenomenal win. Excellent team effort. The defense played very, very well. And I can't be mad at nothing of the way this played out. The way this game played was exactly the way that we wanted it. And hey, it is what it is. Bowl champion, JLAB Birmingham Bowl champion, Georgia Southern, 29-10 win over Appalachian State. Nothing else we can say here, man. Gonna be looking forward to next season. I know we play Charleston Southern to start the season, and we play Clemson. I don't know what order that's in. I think that's in the right order, but Clemson isn't Clemson anymore. But you just never know, man. They still might blow us out. I don't know, but we'll see how it plays out. Shout out to everybody who came through. Wade Page, I don't know how to say that. Lacovi Roberts, Lurch Logan. No, I haven't heard any rumors from the transfer portal. None. And this is another thing. This is another thing about Georgia Southern. We rarely get people moved out of the transfer portal. Rarely. Like everybody who played in this game, they came back to play this game. Nobody left for the transfer portal. Everybody wanted to be in Birmingham to play this game. You hear about like Appalachian State, unfortunately for them, their first and second string quarterback, they went to the transfer portal. I think their running back went to the transfer portal. Georgia Southern, all of their players stayed. All of their players stayed. So that's another thing you could say about Coach Clay Helton. Like, look, the retention percentage is very high. Now, I do expect some people to leave. I would not be surprised. But most of the people who are coming back, I hope they come back. You know, I think Josh Dallas has a place here. I think J.C. French has a place here. Even though I love Weston Bryant, I do love him a lot. But I think for his last season, I think he has a place here for J.C. French. I want Badinga to come in and play football. Him and Terrence Gibbs, get them two together. I think you got something there in the running back position. You know, KD Dorsey, I think you got something with him as well. He comes back. You know, I believe you got some guys there. Dorian Smith, he comes back. He had 2 interceptions today. Would like to see him come back and play. Got Teo Todd at running back. He played a little bit this year. I would like to see him come back. Got a lot of freshmen on his team. A lot of freshmen that's going to be stepping up. Tyler Budge is still a freshman? What? Really? Hold on. Let me see this real quick. Is he still? He's a freshman. No. See, last year, okay, he must have redshirted. Because last year he played, he had 1 rush for 9 yards. Okay, so he must have redshirted. Okay, because I was like, wait a minute. I didn't know he redshirted, though. Okay. So, no, I haven't heard of anybody going in the transfer portal. Guys like Carlos Mays, Charlie Johnston. I think the roster is still pretty solid. And then you got other guys coming in. But yeah. But I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, man. We're gonna have a lot more to talk about. We're gonna talk about the season in review. Because we're gonna look at the entire season. We're gonna look at all the games sometime later on this week. My Atlanta Falcons do play tonight as well. This is like a rare moment where my Georgia Southern Eagles and the Falcons play at the same day on the same channel. I don't know if they're going to come out and win this game. They're playing the Rams. So, but we'll look at that and maybe we'll have something to talk about on that as well. It would be nice if they win that game, though. It really would be. But with that being said, I'm going to get out of here, man. Appreciate everybody who came through. And I don't have anything else to add to the convo. Hell Southern, man, it's been a great It's been a great day. It's been a great day. No, I don't think he's that good. I think he's all right, but if it was me, I'm not saying nothing against Turner Helton, but if it was me, I would look forward to trying to get Weston Bryant to be QB1. I would even probably look at Charlie Johnston as well. I have nothing against I have nothing against Turner Helton, but I think there's more talent. I think there's more talent at the quarterback position. We don't have to look to him. Yes, both our teams do play tonight. Good luck. We'll see how it goes. I'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm gonna get out of here, man. I'm gonna get out of here. I will see you guys on the next one. We'll see how it plays out. All right, y'all. You have a good one. Y'all be blessed. And see you then. All right, y'all. Peace.